Previously, we discussed about the pivot table, the pivot charts, and just a little bit of the reminder about these pivots. We had a lot of details about the pivot table and pivot chart. Maybe what I'm going to do is I'm preparing a small pamphlet that will show all details about the pivot tables and pivot charts, and more application about this. Then I also said that for the purpose of this pivot table and pivot charts, we will need to have a higher office. That is, you need to install a higher office in your computer. That is Office 2016 and above, because there are a number of things that we have already noted with Office 2010 that cannot be actually done using this office. So you need to upgrade your machine to have a higher office. That is from 2013 actually, from 2013 and above. So, but briefly, I'm going to maybe indicate some of this so that when you are running this pivot table, I'm going to send that booklet that has some exercises, and I think you got the details of the previous session that we have been discussing. I hope you got that. I sent that copy that had all the previous details about scenario analysis, the goal-seek function, and the data tables. I send that so you can just open and you run the simple exercises that has been given there. So a little bit fine. So here I'm going to share something with you about this pivot and pivoting before we proceed to our lesson today. Last time we said that when you are running the pivot table, pivot chart, you need to first understand that the work of the pivot table is actually to summarize, is a summarizing tool. So its main purpose is to summarize the content of the pivot table or the content that you have into a simple, easy to understand, simple, easy to read, and simple, easy to analyze worksheets. So, and I think that one we did, and we explained about it. We did a few of these exercises, but later you come to realize that there are more details about pivoting that you need to practice. So you need to practice. And this is what I was talking about, that when you are creating pivoting using Office 2010, then you realize that if the pivot table involves more than one table, like in this case, a pivot table is supposed to involve tables orders and tables customers, but is unable to do that because there is something that is lacking here. It is lacking the model, that is adding some models. That is if I'm using this Office version 2010. But you'll notice that when you're using a higher version of Office like 2013, then it is able to actually analyze that you're able to achieve that, that is to get or to access or to retrieve more than one table from one worksheet. So like here, we have this. To show you, have this database. Have opened the same database now using another different version of Office, a higher version, that is 2013. And when you are running this pivot again, using the same procedure, then you realize that the dialog box that appears in this Office has an additional module here that choose whether you want to analyze multiple tables. This was not previously in the previous Office. And when you select that, I would really want to use more than one table, you select add this data modern, then you click OK. Then the pivot, you'll be able to retrieve the record from different tables. That is, once you run, you load the data modern, and from here, you'll be able to access not only the active table, like here we have the active table, but you can also access all tables. And by accessing all the tables, that means you'll be able to retrieve that pivot from data from one table to the other table. That means you can check, like you can check the name of the customers, and at the same time, you'll be able to take the quantity ordered. So here, you'll be able to select the sales. You can even choose the sales channels to see which customers used which sales channel. For example, if you choose this one under the values, then okay, that one may not, because it will display the values. You display, supposed to display you're supposed to put here under the values, supposed to put data that is in form of values. So for example, the quantity, the cost, and so on. So we can actually check that how that is the quantity each customer bought, and for specific item. So that means you can even start with you can place these products on the column row. That is a product sold. You can place them under the column row. And to be able to show you that if it is this customer James, he never ordered any chair. Never ordered any chair. He ordered no desk, no eraser, but one lamp. He ordered 2 notepads. That is, he's able to show you the specific quantity ordered by each customer. And notice that these are retrieved from different tables. You notice that? And is able to analyze this simple analysis from different tables. I think that one is clear. And maybe probably we will revisit this one later once we are through with our content. We will come and revisit then later, because there is also something else that we are going to use when you're using big data to analyze. That is called the slicers. You can use the slicers. Like this data we have here, you can insert. That slicer is a tool in Access that is also used to filter data visually. So when you click slicer, then it will actually select you, or it will to actually activate. You need to activate the specific item that you need on the slicer. So like here, you can choose the slicer channel, that is sales channel. We can also choose the sale, the products. And from there, we click OK. Or you can even choose customer ID, click OK. So our system will provide the slicers as we see here. The slicers, the work of these slicers is actually to help you simplify and analyze the data. And by doing so, you'll be able to filter your work so much easily than anything else, even using the pivot table, to make your work so easy. Like, for example, so here, all the slicers have been active, are already active. But now, I want to deactivate all of them. but click the first option or the first option that customer ID 1 actually went for this product lamp online. So I want to display all the products that were sold online. That is, if I select online, then when I choose this by just highlighting and just highlight, yeah, that when I click, I can hold Control key and go clicking on each product. Some I'll click, they will not activate. Why? Because these two only products were ordered online. Others were not ordered online. So if I do the opposite, that is, I deselect online and now select retail, then here, as I hold Control and click on the products, the product that was actually sold retail, it will be activated. So that means you can actually highlight here the two channels, and you activate those products that you really like to display on the screen. And by clicking here, it will automatically display your data on the other side. That is for one client. I want for all clients, but I don't want all the items. I just want for all clients, but a specific item like desks. I want for all clients specific item. Like if I want for 3 clients, I can select 3 clients by just clicking the 3 clients, and it will display the 3 clients. I want 2 clients, then I select the 2, and it displays that. So it makes your work so easy, especially when you are analyzing your work. That is the use of slices. So that is still more details on working on big data. Remember that these tools are more powerful when you are using the higher version of Office. I think I've told you that you need to make sure that you use a higher version of Office. So that was just by the way. And today we are to proceed now with our next lesson. And we are to look on something we call the analysis toolpack. The analysis toolpack. Analysis toolpack. So, and what do you mean by analysis toolpack? Before you adjust the camera. So the analysis toolpack is actually an Excel add-in program that provides data analysis tools for financial and data analysis. So the toolpack is actually available by adjusting your Excel program, and it will adjust this toolpack to help you to access the toolpack. Just a little bit. Let me change the settings of this camera. Okay, welcome back. So I was talking about the analysis toolpack, and we said that this analysis toolpack is a tool in Excel that normally helps to set up or to help you or provide data analysis tools for financial, statistical, and other kind of data analysis. That means it's very necessary to have it in your Excel program. So how do you set your computer to have these tools? We said that to set your computer to these tools, you have to click on File. That is, make sure you click on File. Then you select Options. Select Options. Then under Add-ins, you click Add-ins. You'll find that what we call Analysis Toolpack. So you can select Analysis Toolpack. Then from there you click Go, and from there you activate these tools. That is Analysis Toolpack for VBA, and the solvers in add-ins. Then after doing that, you click OK. So first you make sure that you activate those tools. So where do you access them after activating these tools? To access these tools, then you have to click on Data. Then from the data menu above there, then you actually access the data analysis there at the end. That is the last item there. We have data analysis, and you get the analysis toolpack here, a number of them, starting from the ANOVA, the correlation, covariance. We have descriptive, exponential smoothing. We have the F-test, that is the F-test. Yeah, and then a number of them, you'll find them there. So I can see someone saying, we repeat. We've said that to set this, let me just open another higher version of Office. You know, some offices don't have this. Like Office 2013, I found it having a little bit challenge on that. That is, once you open the Office, you click on File, then Options. Option. Then you select Add-ins. Select Add-ins. And once you click Add-in, then you're supposed to get that analysis toolpack. I was saying that this Office sometimes really misses this, but I think it is the language. But when you're using another Office like 2016 or 2019, you'll definitely find that, and you will be able to activate. They are actually here, but in a different language. I don't know which language is there, but you activate them. Once you activate, then automatically when you click on data, you'll find those data analysis there. You'll actually get them there. Yeah, so you'll find all these. That is what we're going to discuss today, and how you actually use them in data analysis. And we are going to start with a simple analysis of creating a histogram. So once we said you click on File, then File tab, you select Option. Under the add-ins, you select Toolpacks, then Go button. And then from there, you activate this tool, and you'll be able to get those tools under the Data tab. From there, you can insert either of these. You start with histogram. So somewhere you discuss about histogram, and sometimes when you're using the higher office like 2019, you'll actually get histogram under the charts. But that is when you're using either Office 365 or when you're using Office 2016 and higher. Maybe when you open the charts, sometimes you'll get that option of histogram. But when you're using other lower version of Office, you'll not get histogram here. Even 2013, you don't have histogram. So how then do you work with histogram? How do you actually set the histogram? So I would prefer that you have this data set that is minus this one here. Just create that small data set. You can type this one very fast in your computer. That is, you have the data, share it here. Okay, it's a bit lengthy. Okay, how do I share? Yes, so you enter that data. The column name is number of students. Then we have, you also enter this data that is in cell C. You enter that. So this data is actually showing the number of students in a particular case. And you want to calculate a histogram, or that is to generate a histogram from this data. So the work of histogram, you did this one in quantitative analysis, and I believe you know where do you process a histogram. So you have several measures that you're going to run. You have the measure of central tendency, where you get the mean, the median, and so on. You also have the measure of skewness. You have the skewness. We have several measures that you run in this analysis. And the histogram can also help you to get the median and the mean. So I believe now you have already entered the data. So just enter that data in your Excel worksheet, just a little bit. I look for my data. Then once you enter this data, then from there, we are going to run the histogram. So you already have this data here. So the number of students, the first case we had 22, the other case we have 20, and yeah. So if you are over, you can just type there done. Then we can run this analysis. It's just giving you 5 minutes to finish up. Then once you are through, just type done. So, okay, that's okay. Now you have entered the data. Have you finished? Please, you can confirm that you are through. You said once you type the data, just confirm, because some people probably have. That's good. So now we want to run a histogram. And the procedure of running the histogram. So it's very easy that with our data here, the histogram is an example that you can use. The first, you enter the bin number. The bin number, that is upper level in the range of, that is this range of C4 up to C8. That is, shows the range level. Then from there, we are going to run this analysis tool. That is, you're going to insert the data analysis tools. So you select histogram, and then once you select histogram, then you click OK. So, and once you do this, it will automatically brings that dialog box where you're supposed to set. So what do you want? You want to select histogram. Then you click OK. Then it will ask for this input data. So, and normally we said when you're running this, it's always important to understand each parameter and what it actually represents. So, just a minute. So, from this dialog box, you're supposed to select the input range. That is, the input range is the range that has this data already. So we're going to highlight that input. That is, under the input, you select the input range. That is your data. Then you select the bin range. And first, you're going to start with that first input data. So you highlight this data. Then in the next range, you're going to select the bin range. That is, MISMA is the higher range. That is the higher range of our data. So, and we highlight this. That is cells from C4 up to C8. Yeah, then it will actually ask, where do you want to set up our output? Where do you want to place our output? And we are going to select that when running this output, probably you want this output to run in a specific range. So under the output, you can click on the cell where you want your output to start. Then downward, it will paste that. So you're going to select that we want our output to start from our output to start from cell F3, from cell F3, and it will move down. Then from there, we need to activate some options here. Apart from our chart output, do you want anything else like compute the cumulative percentage, or even to sorted histogram? So we can activate first the two last options. So here we said that you always identify that this is the cell where we are going to select. You can even select the whole range. That is, you can just highlight the whole range of cells. That is from here down. That shows where the output will be placed. Then from here, you click OK. Sorry, I think we selected more of that. We changed here. Sorry. So this is supposed to be our input data. So you just highlight the input data that is supposed to get. Then the output is supposed now to be here, the range of cells where the output will be provided. So once you finish that, it will actually show you this. It shows the bin data is here, the frequency, that is the number of times. For example, 20 has appeared how many times? How many times? 20 has appeared how many times? So how many times do you have 20 here? So, or the range of that 20. So if that is one way of running this, the other way you can omit some parameters. For example, let's repeat again. Just click on data analysis. Then you select histogram. We select the first input range, which is this range here. Then I remove this cumulative, and I will retain this just this one to produce a chart output and this value. So that is a procedure that you have run here. So you select, you can even choose, instead of selecting the range, you can just choose the cell from where your output will begin. So that is our output will actually begin from here. That is, you can just click on this icon here and then click on the cell where the output will start. Then back again, you go back to, yeah. So then from there, you will proceed and click OK. Proceed and click OK. That is our next step. Huh? You proceed and click OK. And by doing so, then the system will produce an output like the one you have seen there on the board. That is, it will produce that output. So the output comes together with a histogram here. See the histogram? It will show these, the frequencies, and our histogram on the other side. So someone cannot access the histogram. How do I get the histogram? Why are you looking for the histogram? So we said this, Excel will not have histogram as a chart, like how you go to, or how you insert normal chart. That is, click on insert, then you get charts from here. Excel will not have that. Remember that, you said that, unless you're using a very higher version, like 2019 and above, then probably when you're using such higher versions, then you can insert from those versions. That is, if you're able to insert, then probably you are using a higher version, either 2016, 2019, or any other higher version. But the histogram is easily accessed from the analysis toolbar. It is actually there, and it is very easy to access it from there. That is, you do what? Let's repeat again. Just repeat again once more. So we said, how do you access this? You first click on data, and from the data menu, then here you'll find the data analysis toolbar. That is, whatever we added this tool. So you click there, and from this tool, as you scroll down, you'll get histogram there. Then you click OK. Then from there, it will ask you for input range, sorry. You select the input range, that is from this cell up to here. Then it will ask you for the bin data. The bin data now here, what will help us to get the frequency. You select the bin. Sometimes the bin data could be range data, like say like age. If it is age between 10 to 20, between 5 to 10, and so on, it could be range data, or it could be just values that you'll be looking for. So you have to select that bin data. Then where will our output begin? Our output now begin from this cell. We talked of this cell here, cell F3. So you actually click there. Then, if you want to generate more details, like you want to select cumulative percentile, you can activate that option too. Then from there, you click OK. And automatically, our system will produce a histogram. Now, this time around, it will add even the cumulative percentage that you have generated so far. But I wanted just a simple histogram. That's why I did not include the first that tool, that is for cumulative percentile. That is, just select here, you choose histogram, click OK. Then you select the chart output and then click OK. And our histogram appears here on the screen, as you can see. It is actually representing our data, and makes easier like that the number of students, the range, that is for the range 20 appears 1. For the range 25, actually appears the highest. Yeah, and so on. So And this one can actually be shown from this diagram that 25 has appeared the most time. It has appeared the most times. That is that range of 25 has appeared the most time there. That is the upper limit. For the 30th, has appeared this time. So, and the histogram will automatically appear on the screen. So that is how you run the histogram. And it's very easy to generate that, believing that everyone has already done that. If you can access histogram and charts, is still well and good, although there are certain data that will not actually reflect or will not actually insert from the insert chart option. So using a higher version, like when you're using Office 20 or 365, for example, it comes with these different chart options. It comes with histogram, it comes with even the scatter diagrams that are used. Yeah, the scatter diagram used to compare between two variables. Yeah, so, yeah, but it is easier if you're using that analysis toolpath. Even when you're using a higher version, you can still go for that. It will also help you to analyze your data very, very fast. So that is our first data. Sylvia, now where do we repeat? Because I think that is much clearer. Much clearer. Much clearer because we said it is very easy to get this data. Now, maybe I give you a different exercise, then you can attempt. Then from there we proceed to our next discussion. Then we'll see whether you'll be able to achieve that just a little bit. So as I look for a small piece of data, I want to send it over the WhatsApp so that you can download and we do it faster. So let's proceed a little bit with the next tool. The next tool that you're going to check. If you check here properly, you'll see from our histogram, click on the legend on the right, and you can also delete. You know, we don't really need this legend. The legend is the key. This is the key we have here, the frequency key. So you just delete that. On the histogram, we don't really need that. Okay, well, this is data against frequencies against the bin. That is the data we have already entered there. So the property labeled of this bin, you can actually type, or it's already labeled. You know, when you're using chart, they will not come labeled, but this one always comes when it is labeled. So, yeah. So to add the border, you can right click and format this chart. You can add the border to your chart. You can also add series. Want to format series again, that is in this chart you already have here. You can click on this series data, and from here above, you can change the series, like maybe you want to change color and so on. So, and you can also move this chart to a new location. So how do you do that? That with the selected chart already, from the chart tools above here, you select move chart location to a new worksheet. Then you click OK. The chart will be displayed on its own worksheet. Now to the full screen. And now here you can actually present it in a better way. if it is a presentation. So then go back to sheet 1 where we already have our data. So I think that is clear. If the bin was given in form of range, then you'll find the range between these and this. So I would like us maybe to change a little bit the bin and present it in form of this. Then probably see whether it will affect anything in our worksheet. That here we can type now that for the range between, yes, here we are, 0 to 20. Then for the next range between 21, to 25. For the next range between 26 to 30, 31 to 35, then 36, 40. Then we have 40 plus. That was our bin. I want to repeat the same process using the same bin. How do you run this? So we are going to set this one again. And from here, you click on data. Then from data analysis toolpath, you can choose the histogram. Then select again. The same range will remain. Now this one you have to extend it a little bit to capture every data. Then from there, the output you have a chart. Then click OK. Sorry, the bin was supposed to be numeric. Okay, I included this plus, which is not a numeric value. So I need to. So you don't have to include a value that is not numeric. So I'll repeat the process. That is, click on data analysis, histogram, okay. Then the two range are fine. This is 8. Then click OK. Oh, sorry. Oh, I've got it. Huh? Yeah, that is, in this case, when you're using the bin data have to be values only. They have to be values only. That means you have to type numbers and not the range. The range will actually detect, or it will be computed automatically. That is, you don't need to have those ranges. So that is our simple analysis. So, and if you're inserting the chart, you'll realize there is that chart that looks like this. You can get it from higher version of Office. So you can actually have it there. So in that histogram, the frequency table or frequency distribution, you can have this and conclude that formatting this data or formatting the worksheet. So how do you format? If you are to insert the chart from that tool, that is when you have your Excel and you want to import the program. So from here, as you click on insert, then you'll find so many chart options here. All these are chart options. And some of these chat options, especially when you're using maybe search, you'll find there is a histogram there. But now, even kama pewa histogram, it is necessary that if you are to run the histogram for now, use the data analysis tools present there in the data tab. You get them there because it gives you more details, especially when you run your output. It gives you more details. So our next discussion tutaangalia about descriptive analysis. I believe you did this descriptive analysis somewhere. And in analysis toolpack, that toolpack can help us generate descriptive statistics. Under descriptive statistics, we have a number of things that you need to run to our data, which include the mean, the median, that is all the measures of central tendency. You will find them under this option. So you use this analysis toolpack actually to generate the descriptive analysis. So here, 14 students participated in a test and the scores were recorded. Someone says, touch base for us, higher version of computer. I'm not talking of higher version of computer. I'm actually talking of the higher version of Office that you're using. That is Excel 2019, Excel 2016. We said that from 2013 and above, they are very good versions because we have seen they have some tools that are not available in 2010. We have other reasons that may make your machine not to work. And we say that if you are very sure that your machine has been experiencing some challenges, then it is always better to take time and we check whether you have the right software or what could be the problem with your machine. So yes, most likely you have not added the toolpack, and we did the procedure of adding the toolpack. So you can also assist in case you are near to a student who may have that challenge. We said to add the toolpack, you have to go to options, and then you add in that toolpack. So I'm just buying time so that you can enter this data. So we had 14 students who participated in a test. So sometimes, if probably you are using a computer that is configured to the workplace, I've seen this challenge with some students who, that is those students who come here physical classes. Maybe your company had already set your machine to the virtual private network. You normally have this virtual private network. So that is, if your machine is like that, you always experience some challenges, especially some of the tools will be restricted, or even copying a file to that machine will also be a problem. So because it has been set with some firewalls that prevent that machine from actually activating some options. That could also be a problem. Then activation of your Office. Some people are using Office that is not activated. So if your Office is not activated, then don't expect your Office to type anything. It will not be, or it will not be able to activate some features. So some Windows, Windows 10 Enterprise, very restricted. I don't think Windows can really affect this. What is really required? Do you have the Office? If the Office is installed and it is running properly, then it will be fine. Now you are through with this. Let's now open. It was about descriptive analysis. Descriptive analysis. So this was our data, and let me copy this data. Sorry, to another worksheet. Just copy this data to another worksheet, so that maybe we can run this analysis and get kind of similar results. So I believe you have this data now. And with this data, we want to run descriptive analysis. And descriptive analysis is actually one of the analysis that you help us get a number of measures that you can measure: the mean, the standard deviation, or the standard error, sorry. We have the median, the mode, standard deviation and variance, the kurtosis, the Q-ness, the range, the maximum, minimum, all these found in there. So you don't have to struggle, but by running these analysis, they automatically generates on your worksheet. So how do you run the analysis? Then the procedure is very easy. First, you have to click on the data. Then you select data analysis 2. And you're going to do that very, very easy. That which office am I using here? I want to close some. Just a minute. I want to close one of the office here. So with my data, I'll click here. I'll click on data. Then from there, I'll click data analysis. Then from here, I will select descriptive statistics. Then click OK. Good. Now, here we don't have things like the Bing data, only available in histogram. So what is required from you is to set the input data and then identify where the output will be. Where the output will be. That is, you select just a little bit. I want to close some of this. So you just select the range of cells. That is here. You can click on this icon. Then I write the range of cells that contain your data. Then click is fine. Then grouped by column, is already grouped, it is already in column. And where will be the output? So again, you can click here and identify that my output, I want my output to start from cell C, C2, for example. That is from cell C2 and downward. Then from here, you can activate the option here, like the summary statistics that you want to provide, the confidence level of mean, some 95% level of confidence. Then to corner the largest cave here, talking of if you want to get for percentile and quartile. Now you can activate those two and set for which you really want. For now, we can just read it. Just select the summary, then click OK. Automatically, Excel will generate all those statistical measures without having to go generating each one of them at a time. Remember, you can actually generate this one because we have the function for mean, which is average. You have the function for median, for mode, for standard deviation. It's already in Excel. And variance. These are the functions that you can insert. For example, if you want standard deviation, we have a specific function that you can use. But now when you have a very big data set, standard div. So when you have a big data set of volumes of data, then going searching for each of these may take even long time. But by learning this analysis toolpack, it automatically generates your values and give you the answers direct. That is our next, that is our analysis number 2, that is descriptive analysis. And I think that one is clear. It's clear. The output of this nature will appear on the screen. And from there, you'll be able to analyze and get the results. So up to here, I would like to confirm whether there is someone who is still not the same page. Just confirm that that one is clear, so we can proceed to our next discussion. So we'll first discuss first, then later I'm going to send you some exercises that you go and practice. Now using those analysis toolpack, and once you practice, it's always better to confirm. I've always find some people will send the results of the output, which is very good work. So always do that so that at least you'll be able to know whether everything is fine, or maybe because we are not actually close here, not like physical student here, you can check, you can go and cross-check what they are doing and confirm that they have actually understood the concept. For you, the only thing you can do is do the work and send it through the group. Then I'll check. I'll know whether it was actually clear to you. Just capture and then send it to the WhatsApp group. So there is something that we did not actually expound so much because we did it under the basics. Remember that we started from the basics. I know there are people who joined us when we already started our lesson. Because some people had challenges with running Excel, we started from the basic Excel, where we did a number of statistical functions. And these statistical functions, they are not actually available there under the analysis toolpack, because you can actually access them in Excel. So what I'm going to do, because you cannot revisit back that, I'm going to, together with the notes that you're going to analyze, I'm going to send that copy that shows shows those basic statistical functions that are used in Excel, like the average, you have the rank, the mean, the median, the maximum. Yeah, so those you can actually go through and do the exercises that you'll find there. So our next discussion is about the analysis of variance, that you can also use Excel to compute the analysis of variance. I know you did this one somewhere, and you computed it using the computation, the manual way. That is, if you recall very well about the analysis of variance, then it is already first you need to understand the concept behind this analysis of variance, and where this function is specifically used, especially in real life, and what will this one actually solve in real life. So that now when you're running it in Excel, it will actually make more sense, and it will actually be able to know what specifically you need to run and which data you need to to use to run this analysis of variance. Just a little bit to confirm about this. Just a little bit, I want to confirm or just to highlight on where this function or this measure is used. And then you see whether it is really applicable here in Excel and whether it can really help you to make your work easier. So together with this, we have seen that under the descriptive analysis, we generate all of them at once. But for other measures, you'll have to go one by one, especially like this one that we are about to run. So different programs will use different approaches to get the same output. And we have seen Excel was not initially developed for this, but with the time, they have added these tools because found it necessary to be used in different occasions. So just a minute. So, okay, let's back. So the analysis of variance has a number of ways that you can run. I was looking for something to share there about a number of these. So we'll actually separate them later. We have the one-way uncorrelated ANOVA and one-way correlated ANOVA. And those two major that you can run, we're going actually to maybe separate them later. Here, just use a simple analysis of variance to run this. So basically, uncorrelated analysis of variance tell you whether two or more set of scores have different means. You know, we normally used to check whether we have the same means. That is, it assumes that the set of scores come from different individuals or from different backgrounds. And it is not essentially to have the equal number of scores for each set of score. So in this case, the score that you are given, that is the data that you are given to run this analysis of variance, is actually 3 set of data showing the different scores in 3 of these series, that is here. This analysis of variance normally help us to understand how to perform the single factor analysis of variance in Excel. And we are using one-way analysis of variance. Remember that? That is used to test the hypothesis that the mean of several populations are equal. So there is something about the hypothesis and hypothesis testing. And it is important to know that before you run any analysis, you need to formulate a hypothesis testing. I remember maybe I'm very sure that you did about that is setting of hypothesis in one of those units that we were discussing earlier. And just to remind that we say that when you're setting up a hypothesis, remember that this hypothesis is a theory that has been presented. This theory could be either because it is believed to be true or because it is to be used on the basis of argument. That is something that you need to set. Huh? So it is a statement that has been proven or that has not been proven yet. And it is also important to realize that these hypotheses have two. We have to say the two of them. We have the null hypothesis, that is a statement of no difference. And we have to say the alternative. That is the H1. We have the H0 and the H1. As you can see there, we have seen that the H0, that is the null hypothesis, we normally say that is the hypothesis of no difference. Here, when you say the mean of 1 equals to the mean of 2 and the mean of 3, that simply means that there is no difference between the 3 means. There's no difference between the 2 means. So this data below were to find the salary of people who have degree in economics, medicine, and history. And we actually have this data, and we get the mean of the 3. Then we check whether the 3 means are different or not. The next hypothesis is actually to test at least one of the mean is different, or probably 2 means are different. So that is the next hypothesis testing. Remember that the hypothesis you have to set yourself depending on the kind of computation that you need to run. We have said that it does not have to be necessarily true, because this is a theory that is either presented or it is believed to be true, or it is to be used for the basis of our argument. That is what will guide you to set the hypothesis test. So now with our hypothesis already set, the null hypothesis say that all the mean depict the same characteristics. All of them actually are the same. That is, there is no difference between the mean. The second one here states that at least one mean is different. Then let's perform now this analysis test, and we see the results of our computation. So I believe you already have the data. Do you have the data? Please enter that data very fast. Enter those. You see that even the records are not actually equal. The number of records do not necessarily to be equal. We have stated that when you're running this hypothesis and the ANOVA, especially this one-way uncorrelated. One-way uncorrelated means that there is no the three data sets don't have probably any relationship between them. And to identify the relationship between two variables, you must first run the correlation. The correlation you help to identify whether there is any relationship. You actually run this one later, whether there is any relationship between the two or the several variables that has been given. The degree of relationship also matters a lot, because it will actually help us to identify more details more clearer than when they are not, when the degree of relationship is not strong. So if you are through, you can confirm that you have already typed the data so that you can proceed running this analysis. So confirm, nasema I'm done with the work, or I'm done. So all I've completed. So it is better you confirm, like 3 of us confirming, then you proceed. So let's proceed. So once now we have the data, then we can now run our, just going to copy this data, then we'll compare the results later. See whether it will give us the same results. So this is my data. Just zooming the data a little bit so that you can see that data. Now we proceed with our data. So to perform this single factor ANOVA, then you execute, you go to data analysis toolpack, and then you select ANOVA. So let's do that together. So you just click on back to our data. I need to close some worksheets here. This one. So you click on data, then you select analysis toolpack. Then you choose a single factor. You start with the single factor, ANOVA. Then from there you can click OK. Then it will prompt us for the input data, whereby you select the range of cells that contain our input data. That is, if you check very well, you get from cell A2 up to cell C10 is where our data is actually held. So we can highlight those cells. That is from cell A2 up to C10. And once you set that, then our data will be grouped by column. Then our output will be generated from cell A1, from cell E1, sorry. So that is where our output will be generated. So you select output, then from cell what? E1 is where we want to expect our output to start from. So you click E1, then here you have that. Then finally you click OK. So once you click OK, then automatically our system will produce a small chart, as you can see here. That is our chart. And it shows ANOVA single factor summary for column 1, column 2, column 3. So it counts the number of occurrences for the column 1 and showing the average, the sum. For column 1, you can confirm whether that is actually the sum. So it is perfectly the sum. Again, if you were to check the average, it also give the same. But the variance has been given there as 23. Then the ANOVA statement or the ANOVA statement will be placed down here. I don't know whether you still know or remember how you're supposed to interpret an ANOVA diagram. So it is important to know that. You see here, you have the two sources between the group and within the group. And the total it has given with two decimal, that is two significant level. That is two significant level. So I believe that you get this. So our conclusion will be what? From whatever we have already got from customers, from clients, then you'll find that if the F, how you conclude, remember that you're supposed to conclude using the hypothesis testing. If the F is greater than F crypt, F is greater than F crypt, then we reject the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis, the one you have said that is the statement of no. In case it is actually greater, then we reject, and in favor of the alternative that there is difference. So in this case, the value of F is 15.1. You can see it above here. And the other one is what? Is less than, is less. Therefore, we reject the null hypothesis. Then this means the three populations are not equal. At least one of them, at least one of these means is different. Therefore, the ANOVA does not tell you where the difference lies. If you want to do this, then you need a t-test to test each pair of the mean. So that means most of these are actually the tests that you actually run, and you have already done this in class. Huh? Yeah, so that is how you run this that ANOVA. So when you run and you get these results, then it's important to confirm whether you have got the same results or you have got different results. You have got different results. So it is always better to confirm. If you did get the wrong or different report, then you need to confirm so that you can check where you did the wrong entry or the wrong process. So if there is not, then I assume that about the ANOVA, it is done and it is completed. Then we have the F-test. F-test is another tool that we use. So you notice that in statistics, we have several types of tests. We have the t-test. Now this is F-test. But it is important to know that whichever unit you are doing, then is always to have clue of what you expect about this topic, what you gain after learning the topic. And it's only that you help you to know whether you are really progressing or not. The F-test is used to test the null hypothesis. That the variance of the two populations are equal. So that is the F-test. So if you actually check more about this F-test, which I said it is important to dig a bit deeper about them. So the variance ratio test indicate whether two uncorrelated score of data differs the variability of score around the mean. So this clearly differentiate from calculating whether the two mean are different and should be remember that variance can be significantly different even through the means of the two set of scores are the same. So our data here, we are given two things or two data sets. That is the gender. And hypothesis test has already indicated above there. So just have this data. So once you are through, then you proceed running. Remember that the hypothesis test is already set. So you actually use the same format, only that under the F test 2 sample for variance, but the rest you just run the normal way. Then you click OK. It should give us yes, that is the F test. You already have the data. So let me open my data, then we can run it together. So we can zoom this data a bit so that at least now you'll be able to see here population. The first procedure is actually to access the database tools. Then you proceed to F-test 2 sample variants. To sample is what we are using. So I've clicked on data, then data analysis. Then I'll use the ANOVA sorry. Yes, I'm going to use the ANOVA. The F-test 2 sample variants. F-test 2 sample variants. So you'll choose F-test 2 sample variants. Then click OK. To ask you for the out or the input data, which in this case you have the 2 set of input data. So what do you specifically put? You need to confirm this, that you click on variable 1 in the range box, then you select the range from A2 up to A7. Click on variable 2 on the range, then select the next range because you have the 2 range. So from that dialog box, you have the 2 variables. You select this variable and you also select the next variable. Then where do you put this as the output of your work? So we can actually output and send it to another cell. So you just decide where. So the output can be any cell, like we talk of this cell here. Then click OK. So after running this is what you actually expect as the output. So you get the mean, the variance, and do count numbers. So let's save that F-test. So I hope that one you have already gathered the same results as we have seen here. So the conclusion of that, I hope you have got the solution. The solution here. So, and maybe to follow up on that when you run this, it is important to note that whatever you have seen here, be sure that the variance of the variable 1 is higher than the variance of variable 2. In this case, 160 is higher than 21. So if not, swap your data. As a result, Excel calculate the correct F value with the ratio variance of 2 or variance 1 and 2 using that simple formula. So that means you'll connect and we'll see whether is able to run this and what you're supposed to get. So I think we are together up to that, huh? Yeah, so the next measure is t-test. You may not go through all of them, but it's important that you can also formulate or get a data from a different source. Then you try run this. So I'll send you that copy with those simple tests so that you go through them. I have seen my camera has elapsed. Then you attempt those exercises, then later you can send them via the group, that is WhatsApp group. So meanwhile, we are going to wind up our lesson today. The next lesson, we will discuss about the t-test. We also discuss about the moving average. And we also discuss more, especially this will be one of the most involving. So in Excel, you have to do it with cells and formulas. So you have a long way to check that. And we shall again update you with the right material. So you can always revisit back what we have just gone through. So have a good